Whoa. I did something with the camera, and I don't know how. If I spin it, is it gonna go back to normal? Oh my god, my camera is stuck like this. That is funny. That looks so weird. Alright, there we go. So what I've got for you today is very quickly becoming the 2023 edition of Raynor vs. Clem. Remember that a couple of years ago? I could quite literally feature Raynor vs. Clem on this channel every other day, every third day or so, because they would face off against each other in those smaller online tournaments several times a week. These days, however, doesn't seem to be the case anymore, but over the last month, these two pro gamers have been facing off against each other all of the time. So first off, in the top left-hand corner, we have Dark and his opponent and teammate. We are looking at herO's main Nexus. Now, this particular series is the finals of the ESL Open Cup 156 for Korea, so once again, there's money on the line. However, for this to be a proper rivalry, so spoiler alert for the last few times that these two have faced off against one another, I do think herO has to step it up a little bit, right? Over the last few times, as far as I know, Dark has been the victor, but a lot of those wins are built off of the back of the fact that Dark plays a little bit funny, right? He plays a little bit weird. And on top of that, we've seen herO make a couple of small slip-ups as well that, yeah, don't really help him out all too much. I mean, I remember him flying a prism into a couple of spore crawlers and taking corrosive bows to the face on his sentries. Just unfortunate stuff that really shouldn't be happening at this level of play. Anyways, this time around, okay, Dark is once again thinking about going for a hatch block. But we do have herO on the low ground in time. I think he sent that probe a little earlier than he had the minerals to make the Nexus, just to prevent that from ever happening, which certainly is a nice thing to do. In the meantime, though, the drone, okay, decides to steal the gas in the main base, and this is honestly a little bit annoying. I don't even think it's a horrible idea for Zerg players to sometimes go for a drone scout, because this is super annoying for the Protoss player to have to deal with when you steal the gas inside of their main base. Once again, a lot of Dark's playstyle seems to be based off of the fact that he's trying to throw his opponents off, and, well, this is definitely a way to do it, because you do go for a Zealot, excuse me, you do go for a Zealot if there's a hatchery building over here. Okay, we have an assimilator going down in the natural already, but normally you go for an Adept and you send that straight across the map. On top of that, Adepts take forever to kill structures anyways, so yeah, if you're not gonna go for a Zealot, maybe he can go for a Stalker on the back of this, but already Dark is making his opponent think, and as we all know, StarCraft players are not very good at thinking while they're inside of a game. I mean, at least that's my experience over the years. Some pro gamers definitely feel a little bit more comfortable in that aspect, but most StarCraft players seem to learn by losing, looking at the replay, and then making a mental note of never being in that situation again, or what they should be doing differently next time around they're in that situation. So, do you go for a Stalker right now? Preferably not. Apparently it's going to be a Twilight Council together with a couple of Zerglings in the natural. More are running across as well. These must have taken the long road, and apparently they managed to get here before the second Adept pop. Good timing here once again by Dark, who's just playing a super annoying game, right? Like, that's what he does. Okay, looks like he's going to get one probe right over here. Good micro on that other low HP one. Second Adept here is eventually going to clean all of this up, I believe. First Adept actually has also come back home, so already, I mean, this has alleviated all of the pressure off of Dark's side of the map. He's actually sending more links. One of the quote-unquote rules for Zerg, okay, and this is just a little bit of advice, don't move your Zerglings off creep until Metabolic Boost finishes up. Unless you're, you know, well familiar with the rules and you know exactly what to expect, you should probably not do what Dark is doing over here, because there's a good chance that two Adepts are going to shade forward, and you end up losing all of those links for nothing. Anyhow, despite all of the spiciness here from Dark, I actually prefer this situation here for herO, because, I mean, he's lost one probe, but he's killed 4 Zerglings. Dark made more links than he really would have liked to as well, so in the end, economically speaking, herO is a little bit ahead. He does have one pylon to power everything here, so that's a robo facility. He's now going to go for the Glaives Research too, so it's about 2/3 of the way done. This is one of those modern Glaives upgrades, though. It's a little bit weird. So, normally, back in the day, we would see 4-gate Glaives, right? So we would see 4-gate Adept with the Glaives Research. So the Glaives, it basically gives you 45% additional attack speed on these bad boys right over here, on these bad girls, right? They deal a lot of damage. Back in the day, it was enough to kill a bunch of drones and then call it a... Yeah, you would be pretty happy with that. You can call it a day. But these days, okay, A lot of Protoss players sent these, like, weird groups of adepts. We're still making more right now, too. He's gonna trade them out. But it seems to me that a lot of the top-tier Protosses are content with simply just destroying opponents' units instead. I mean, when you think about it, if Dark is currently making Zerglings, he's not making drones, right? Because Zerg obviously has to choose what they want to produce out of those cocoons. So indirectly, this is dealing some sort of economical damage. But it always feels a little bit weird to me, because... well, now there's a Dark Shrine coming up on the back of this, too. It always feels a little bit weird to me, because you're not actually dealing that much drone damage here. But if you look at the worker count at this point, herO is still finding himself at a nice advantage. How exactly are these going to trade, though? Yeah, there's now enough to start contesting the roaches even, too. Corrosive Bile, okay, is going to connect. That was a really beautiful bile right there by Dark, making the best of this situation. Prism goes into the main base. One of the queens is running very low, and yep, Brenda is dead. Second queen shooting the spines right here at the Prism, but Prism still at full HP. The shields will regenerate, so... it's funny though, isn't it? This feels so... it feels so strange. No longer shading for mineral lines? I mean, he would if he could, right? But no longer does that really seem to be a priority, and instead we're just warping in units. I mean, it's working quite nicely too. Shadow Stride is coming up on the back of this. Now, Dark has seen the Dark Shrine. I don't know if herO knows that he's been spotted. So Spore Crawlers are coming up. Okay. Yeah, at some point you do have to be careful though. Recalling is very expensive because you're going to lose about half of the adepts in the process. Shading once again forward. Okay, nice. If he can get to a mineral line, he will obviously do so. Okay, good drone movement right there by Dark, making the best of this. Slowly but surely, the economy here of Dark is dwindling. Adepts are not very good at fighting these armies straight up when there's bigger numbers of roaches and ravagers and Zerglings. So they do pop pretty easily in the mid-game, I guess. But at this point, yeah, they're putting in the work. Okay. Body blocking here as well with a couple of the adepts. Sniping a few more roaches. If we look right now, yes, at the income advantage, this is what is allowing herO to pull this off, right? So he sniped a couple drones here and there. Already the work account of Dark wasn't that great. And now he's got the number advantage, right? He just simply has more stuff. A lot of queens inside of the main base right now as well. They do have a lot of transfusion energy, so that's nice. At the very least that, yeah, allows Dark to keep them around for a little bit longer. But keep in mind, there are Dark Templar coming on the back of this. Shadow Stride just finished up. That's the Blink upgrade for the DTs. At this point, it seems to me, though, that herO doesn't even really need it, but he is warping them in. Okay, there they go. He's gonna start picking up the pace here. So rather than just attacking with one group of units, he's gonna go for a second group of units. He's also taken the pocket expansion in the bottom right. Nothing that Dark can really do against that either, so... liking this situation here for herO a lot. What about hold positioning over here on the ramp? I guess Biles could still get some work in, right? You could still move the Spore Crawler too, but a little row of Dark Templar over there just to be annoying. Yeah, not a terrible call. Anyhow, are we gonna transition away from this herO? Is that the plan? The DTs, okay, they do jump on the Spore and they do get there too. Now they're gonna go after the hatchery itself. Move out of the way. Nicely done. Now they're gonna go after the hatchery itself, and the hatchery will fall. Now the main army of the Zerg... okay, I was gonna say, the main army of the Zerg is still gonna have to be addressed, but Dark decides to tap out. Next up, inside and out. Standard openers here from the both of them. Dark wanted to go for a hatchery first in the natural, but there was already a probe blocking that, which is not really all too surprising on this particular map, because the rush distance is so short. It's going to be a Stargate opener right here from herO. Double Overlord Scout as well from Dark, actually. Okay, he sees the timing of the Warp Gate research, and he's going to turn around on one of them. Which I actually really like. Yeah. So he's been double Overlord Scouting in a lot of his games, I've noticed. But the fact that he sends one of the OVs back when he's actually going to send them both back. So he's already putting his opponent on a Stargate build entirely, it seems. I mean, maybe he's going to have to go for the pillar here momentarily, because this time around there is a Stalker coming up after that first Adept. Adept once more just checking, though. Yeah, making sure that there's no cheeky Zerglings here waiting to run into the natural once again. Oracle opener. Yeah, so to clarify, warp gates, it costs a 50 gas, right? So it's 50 gas. Twilight Council and Robo Facility are 100 gas each. Stargate, however, is 150 gas. So usually if you want to go for a Stargate, you delay the warp gate research, and that's what Dark scouted just now with his Overlord. Oracle is going to provide high ground vision, I think, momentarily. Since Dark knows what he's playing against anyways, it doesn't really matter all too much. You may as well get that high ground vision and snipe the Overlord. You might have to activate the Pulsar Beam though, yeah. And that alone is already a little bit annoying. Yeah, that alone is already a little bit frustrating. He doesn't want to activate it again, because then you lose so much energy. Ovi is gonna get spotted and sniped. I mean, I feel like it's kind of hot to float above that anyways. It becomes a hot air balloon. What if the Overlords start flying a little bit higher above the lava? That would be a map feature I can get behind, but this is all leveraging herO right now into a very quick third Nexus. So 4 minutes or so on that third. Definitely not bad at all, and now he's going to go for the Twilight Council as well. One thing I actually am not entirely aware of is whether or not this is played on the new multiplayer balance patch. So last week's ESL Open Cup was played on the new multiplayer patch, but I mean, it's obviously still PTR. Oh, that's sloppy. Loses one of the Oracles. I mean, he got 4 drones, so, you know, that's something. But losing an Oracle there is really quite annoying. You really want to try and keep those units alive. Obviously, there were Zerglings on the other side of the map being annoying, right? Don't lose another one. If he loses 2 of them, that's... I mean, I don't want to call GG that early, but that would be really rough. Okay. So we can find out whether or not this is the new multiplayer balance patch. If, like, for example, we see like a Disruptor or a Ravager morphing in, something along those lines, or we see like Hydras with speed, or Brute Lords with speed, or small Ultralisks, something like that. What we do see over here, though, is a bunch of Adepts getting killed for practically nothing. Not the early game you're really hoping for. He did kill 14 Lings here in total, but this is certainly Dark feeling comfortable right now. So it's once again going to be Charge here, which is kind of funny. He finished that Twilight Council a while ago, but only just now started up the Charge research. For the longest time, and herO is the one that really popularized that build, for the longest time you would go for Blink together with the +1 upgrades, right? So you would go for Blink and then also the ground weapons. Okay, trying to get Adepts in. Nicely done. Getting a couple drones here, not bad at all. Adepts right now also headed to the main base. A lot of drones pulled away from their mineral line. Lynx are gonna come back, but this is already giving him a very nice lead. Okay. You know, this justifies the early game losses entirely. 8 drones here, plus a ton of lost mining time. I mean, we can look right here at the income advantage. Yep, and this is just simply the fact that those drones aren't mining. And on top of that, he got 8 workers. That's a lot. Anyways, what I was trying to say is that for the longest time, herO popularized the Blink upgrade together with the +1 ground weapons. Now we have a second Forge over here too. With the new multiplayer balance patch, these upgrades are faster. So I think it's 7 seconds on the +1 research, but I mean with chrono boosts, I can't tell the difference. At least not visually. We'll have to pay attention, okay? So our Ravager now takes about 12 seconds to morph in, and in the past it took about 8. I think that'll probably be the easiest tell. We can look at the clock, and then look at the roaches. A couple of Banelings here trying to come in. Good control, good overcharge. That's the herO we want to see. Excellent, really nicely done. And Dark is still droning at this point. He's making 16 workers at once. That's nice, but there are already, well, 3 gateways right now. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, they're morphing into warp gates at this point. There's, I think, 8 gateways here. +1 is already finished. That's gonna kill those Zerglings a hell of a lot faster. He's gonna be able to warp in a ton of units right now. So it's gonna be Zealots together with Archons. I think herO is thinking about going for an attack here very soon. Can you morph in a Ravager, please, Dark? Come on, roaches. Disruptor also coming up. The Purification Nova radius has also been reduced. Actually, a big warp in right now in the main base. I actually don't think this is the new multiplayer patch. Pretty sure it's not. I mean, I feel like people would be talking about it more. But maybe already we've gotten used to it. I don't know. Zealot's getting quite a bit of work in, but those queens on the ramp, right? The queen value has been amazing here for the Zerg. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a terrible engagement for him. You don't want to be in this position in the first place at all, but Dark has been getting a lot of value out of the queens over the last couple of weeks. Putting them in the right place at the right time. Now forced to pull the drones into the battle as well, though. Don't think that's really where we really want to be. Is that Observer 17.5% bigger? Could be, dude. I have no idea. A couple of misrallied Overlords. Adept over here as well. Suddenly, yeah, we have 23 worker kills here in total. Not bad whatsoever. Okay. This guy over here with the red hit points. You should morph that one. Yeah, thank you. So it spawns with full HP again. Okay, so if it finishes at 50 seconds, 850, this is not the new patch. Well, would you look at that? Turns out it is the new patch. I was already looking at that Observer, okay? It did look a little thick. Not gonna lie, that looked like a thick Observer to me. Okay, there we go. Wait, no, I'm on the wrong speed. Okay, there we go. Everything's alright again. Dark trying to make the best of this very tricky situation. So he needs to get some sort of damage in. That's what he's trying to do right now with these Banelings. And you know what? They may just achieve what he's looking for. Slow reaction speed right here from herO, but it looks like he will be able to sneak away because Zealots are sacrificing themselves for the mineral line. I love to see that, dude. So selfless. But yeah, there was no roly-poly research on those bad boys just yet. Centrifugal Hooks is just about to finish up. I thought it was the old balance patch because of the fact that we now have those little notifications again on the right side of the screen, and we seem to have Game Heart and Observer Plus and all that added, but apparently we figured out a way to have both the balance changes as well as Game Heart. Love to see it. Anyhow, Dark is making the best of this, though. I'm actually very impressed. I feel like the majority of Zergs would have lost at this point after that many, lost workers. But now he's playing against 4 base economy here for Protoss, right? And I feel like in the last couple series we've seen these two play. I mean, it's never been the case. Ooh, there's those small purification Novas, but they're still big enough to kill quite a few of those high-value Zerg units. Reinforcements are coming up. Ground armor level 2 is finishing too. So this is when those forge upgrades are actually really nice. So the forge research is faster, right? +2/+2 would not have been finished at this point in the previous patch. GG. Yeah, there's too much stuff. I love casting Protoss versus Zerg with Terran music in the background. Anyhow, next up, we are on Data C. Let us have a look at exactly what's going on here. Standard openers once again. Notice how the Warp Gate research is not spinning, so despite the fact that Dark hasn't seen a Stargate, he knows at this point that it's most likely going to be a Stargate opener. Second Overlord is gonna confirm this, so that's interesting to me. This is a very Dark-esque move, right? I thought I finally figured out some consistency in his game after watching that previous match, but nope. Second OV is still gonna scout the main base regardless. It was sent straight across the map, and it's going to confirm exactly what Dark already suspected, but now he's likely to lose both of those Overlords. Although there are a couple locations, I guess, where you can hang out with the OV as well. You would force out a Phoenix or a Void Ray or anything along those lines. Anyhow, Adept in the main base. No, not finishing any of them off just yet. You obviously have the 2-shot. Don't lose the Adept. No. Close. Okay, well, still loses it to the Queen over here on the low ground. Honestly, the Terran music is the best though, right? Both in StarCraft 2 as well as in StarCraft 1. Especially the StarCraft 1 music is very iconic. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guitar guy over here in the background is going nuts. I wonder if that was entirely, like, planned in advance, or they, you know, just called the guitar guy up and they're like, yo, we need you to go jam over this background music. Go get some stuff done, man. We need some spacey tunes. That's all we need. I would like to imagine this is freestyle, but Probably not. Anyways, Oracle coming in. Once again, we're settling for Zergling kills, apparently, which is funny. But hey, herO, yeah, considered to be the rank 1 Protoss on the planet. No! Okay. That would have been bad timing too, man. After I called you best Protoss on the planet, to then lose it to the Spore Crawler. You see the Spore Crawler already pivoting? It was like, there's an Oracle somewhere over here. I see. I can't hit it anymore. But it was already, yeah, it was already ready to fire. Anyhow, it's changing the way that the game works. A lot of Zerglings, though. That's a lot of Zerglings. Okay. I think he's making this amount of links just so he can deny the opponent's third nexus, and just because he knows exactly what herO likes to go for. He's gonna lose all of them, though. Okay, I was gonna say, if he commits to killing the nexus, which I don't think he can, he's gonna lose a lot. The problem is, right, so historically we've never seen Zerg players making these moves because of the fact that you just do not have enough workers to justify it. So Dark consistently keeps doing this, and he's obviously very successful at the game, but I'm still wondering if that is the correct move. Because look at the work account right now, look at the income. There's the second stasis ward 2 right next to each other, that's funny. But look at the income advantage here. This is huge. So what exactly do those Zerglings achieve other than putting yourself behind economically? Well, if your opponent donates... What? I have no words. If your opponent donates a couple oracles, I guess that justifies it. How did he just lose both of them? I think he must have thought, he must have assumed that he sent them towards the bottom right or something. Obviously, there was aggression on the other side of the map too, right? So you can only look at so many things at once as a StarCraft player, but... I feel like recently we have seen herO make some slip-ups, though. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe I just haven't caught them in previous casts before, you know, the last couple of weeks. That is always a possibility, but... uncharacteristic mistakes is what it feels like. Anyhow. Dark right now, using that larva mechanic to make a whole lot of workers at once. You'd imagine that having them earlier is better, because then they would mine for longer. But apparently he's figured out, nope, this is actually the way that I want to play. So are we going to go missile upgrades here? I would imagine so, but could be melee. No. We've got the resources. Interesting. Oh, it is going to be melee. There's the Forge, getting the +1 ground weapons. And Blink is going to finish up. So this is the style that herO has been playing for a long while. He's very good at it. And he's now even going for a gateway on the other side of the map too. So no robo facility here to produce a prism with. So he's going to be reinforcing this using a gateway as well as a pylon on the other side of the map. herO hasn't showed this to his opponent, right? So Dark doesn't know. Zerglings are thinking about wrapping around the back. But without +1 ground weapons, it's going to be hard to get much done here for the Zerg. Okay. Decides to blink over the rest of that army, and he does get away. Now he spots as well, Dark that is, exactly what he's playing against. He's killed a lot of Stalkers, but not as many as we'd like to see, honestly, yeah? 60 Lings have already gone down in this game. Ravagers joining in as well. They're going to go after some of the slow warping in Stalkers. Economically speaking, Dark right now is feeling fine, right? This is 48 workers here, essentially a 2-base all-in from herO. He does have a third nexus, but he doesn't have a lot of workers mining there. Whereas Dark has got full 3-base saturation. I mean, there's probably one mineral field that's run out, okay? That would mean it's almost full 3-base saturation. Queen goes down. Good blinking here by herO, getting a lot of value out of these armies. So if we look at the army size, though, this is what is really telling the story, right? So as long as this fight goes on, as long as Dark is mining more resources, yeah, sure, the trades may go slightly in favor of herO, but he's mining more stuff, and therefore he has more units. Yeah, good blink Stalker control, but it's just, I don't think it's gonna cut it. Dark also knows it, by the way. He's now going +2 melee. He's going for the roach speed upgrade too. And once those two upgrades are finished, I mean, it's going to be another couple minutes here, but when they finish, or if they finish, Dark is going to be at a very, very nice advantage. Already though, +1 melee here is making a big difference. Those Stalkers just simply die much faster to the Zerglings. That being said, Dark does have to be careful. He's bleeding out a lot of expensive units. He needs to be on top of his Queen Injects too. That's something we see all the time at lower level play where... Yeah, look, like one of the energy queens, or one of the queens here has missed 2 injects now. That is a little bit sloppy, but he's got, yeah, a bunch of extra hatcheries, right? He's got this hatchery over here, that's nice. Quite a bit of larva production. You do want to be able to produce enough Zerglings here to actually shut down these Stalkers. A little bit of miscontrol right there from herO. Where are we going? Okay, too far forward, that's for sure. Dark is respecting this, though. If he wasn't, he'd be sending a lot of units towards the other side. This third Nexus has been vulnerable for the longest while. I actually think sending Zerglings across would have been good here, but... he's been feeling like he needs all of them. So I guess this is where the Ravager nerf also does come in. These guys will not be able to bile 1 extra time or so. I think the bile cooldown is like 8 seconds. Takes 4 seconds longer to morph in these bad boys. I mean, about half a bile loss per Ravager. Obviously, it takes a little bit longer for them to join the battle once again. Right now, though, I think the Zerg army is just too big. Good transfuses as well by the queens. Yeah, while both players are taking losses, it is Protoss who's losing quite a bit more. So this is very much so an eco game. Imagine if those couple of oracles from earlier were still around. Harassing the main base, killing the Zerglings, going after the Ravagers. Not bad. Anyways, good control right there coming out of Dark, as he does get a point on the board. Next up, Cosmic Sapphire. I think that herO has been experimenting with the Forge changes, right? So the upgrades coming out faster. They allow him to go for timing attacks a little bit more strictly as well. So I think that's probably what he's trying out in this series. I really feel like that's one of the most significant changes with the new multiplayer balance patch. So again, I think I mentioned this earlier already, but the +1 upgrades in the Forge, they take 7 seconds less time to finish. The +2 upgrades are 9 seconds shorter in research time, and then the +3 are 11 seconds shorter. I feel like that adds up very rapidly, and it's honestly a little underrated. Anyhow, Zerglings scouting the left side of the map, scouting the right side of the map, making sure there's no proxy stargates or anything along those lines happening. Overlord is going to get into the main base as well, and it will see that once again, we've got ourselves a Stargate. It's an Oracle? What? No way. Oracles? When's the last time we've seen one of those? Oracles do not shoot air to air though, so Dark is going to hide the OVs. Interesting how he's still using double Overlord Scouts. Yeah. Maybe it's because of the Void Ray era that we were in a couple of years ago. A lot of Zerg players stopped going for double Overlord Scouts. They would go for like 1 Overlord across the map and then keep the other one in the natural to, you know, scout out for cannon rushes and that sort of thing, but... it's gonna be a nice and quick third Nexus here from herO. 3:45, pretty much the perfect time. There it is. 3:43 even. Dang. Probably comes down to doubling up on the close-by mineral fields first. Oracle now goes in as well. Okay, start shooting lasers. 4 drones. 4 drones for about half of the HP. Don't think Dark cares about that all too much, but maybe he should. We're kind of missing that confidence play, right? Coming out of Dark here. When he's 1-0 ahead in the series, he seems to feel way better. In this particular situation, though, he's been behind, well, right after game number 1. He tried going for a spicy game 1 as well with the hatchery block and all that, but didn't happen. There's once again the Twilight Council together with the Forge. herO not being too predictable with those upgrades anymore. I mean, I highly doubt it's going to be Glaives, but it could certainly be Charge. What's it going to be? Nothing. Double Forge. Ooh, let's go. I like the idea. Okay, so it's going to be Blink together with the +1 upgrade, and then a second Forge as well. Yeah, so he's definitely experimenting with the Forge upgrade timings. Love to see that. I mean, I really hope this is played on a new multiplayer balance patch. I'm pretty sure I got it right, but it'd be kind of embarrassing if this turns out to be the current patch. No, I'm gonna double down. It's the new patch, guys. We've counted. I mean, math in a video is dangerous, but I'm pretty sure I can count to 8. I think. Most of the time. I believe I can count to 8. Oh, look, Jimmy. See, even though it's a Zerg versus Protoss, we get Terran influences everywhere we go. What does it say? Victoria? Think so. Anyway. Roach Warren coming up. +1 ground weapons here coming up again for the Zerg. +1 melee. Zergling here scouting out everything. But herO is, yeah, he's found his stride here, I think. He's feeling pretty comfortable. So there's the second upgrade too. Double chrono. Don't really like how those forges are split up. Would have liked to see them together, mostly because that makes it much easier to track, and I like the way it looks. Don't think herO cares much about my opinion as far as, you know. But look how ugly these guys are sprinkled around the base, okay? What is this formation? We just planted down 3 gateways willy-nilly? That's not necessary, okay? Building an aesthetic base as Protoss is half the fun. herO's not playing this for fun, though. He doesn't care. Maybe when a Nidus Worm comes in, he'll reconsider his building positioning, but at this point, none of that is important. Ground weapons level 1 already finished. Can we go straight into +2? We can. Keep it chronoed, man. Keep it chronoed. Yeah, so maybe it's not the spiciest thing to say, but this is herO experimenting with upgrade rushes. And even though it's one of the most boring things about StarCraft 2, it's very, very interesting how it works out. Okay, we go straight into +2 over here as well. Come on, right away. Boom! Okay, I'll try again. Right away. Boom. Boom. Okay, fine. Boom! Oh, there you go. Okay, he started the chrono before the upgrade. That's when you know you're dealing with a badass. He's scouting around the map as well. Okay, so has he seen the timing of the Hive? He has now. No, he hasn't. Okay, so Hive is coming up very quickly together with a Spire. Dark is rushing out Brute Lords in this situation. I mean, that is a quick infestation pit, by the way. Normally, we don't see infestation pits. Even from guys like Sue, we don't see them until like the 8-minute mark. But this is like a 7-minute infestation pit here. Maybe even sooner than that. So super quick here from Dark. So I think he's gonna go straight to Brutes. I think he's analyzed here that herO is planning to go for a timing attack off of 4 bases. And while those upgrades do hit relatively late, they hit a little bit sooner this time around, he believes he can actually get the Brute Lords out before this attack comes across the map. I'm not sure if that's the case, to be honest. Okay, here starts herO with his movement on the right side of the map. +3 started up right away. Hell yeah. Okay. Hive is finishing up. We need to see the Spire morphing into a greater Spire here as quickly as possible as well. Really? We're prioritizing the plus... Ooh. Ooh, we're doing both. He's going Ultralisk Cavern together with a greater Spire. That's why he's going +2 armor. I mean, he does have a good amount of workers. That's interesting. So he wants to go Brute Lord Ultra. Another Robo facility is coming up, though, and I've got a feeling that that one's going to be quite important. So that's the second Robo facility here. Dark is going to need another couple minutes. Like, he's going to be great in a couple minutes from now, but at this point, he's still stuck on just Zerglings, Banelings, and Ravagers against a very powerful army here from the Protoss. Now, he does have a lot of units. +2 is finishing up. Adrenal Glands is also on the production tab, so once this production tab is finished, life's going to be much better for Dark. The only problem is that right now it's not. A couple of Overlords here, actually. A little too far forward. Aggressive push over here on the left side of the map, too. herO splitting up his units, trying to go after multiple armies at once, and he's winning the fight on the left. Army on the right has been pushed back as well from the Zerg, but it's only Stalkers remaining. Got a feeling that, yeah, reinforcements are going to be enough here eventually, though. Files? No Baals? No. Yeah, rolling the Banes into the Archons is never my favorite thing to see. Right now, though, even though it's only been Stalkers on the right side of the map for quite a while, they are properly upgraded. +2 just finished up on those bad boys as well for the armor. They are going to be able to kill a hatchery because of it. Transfuses right here on the Ravagers to try and keep them alive, but the Zealot there eventually will still get the final hit. The drone over there trying to get the final hit on the Zealot too. Golden Base coming up. Ultra coming up. Okay. So we can get proper confirmation now. Ultras are significantly smaller when they pop. They look like... They're basically the size of a... Okay, they're slightly bigger than a Ravager. But they are much smaller than they used to be. Now, when there's no Immortals in the mix, Ultras are actually really good. As soon as Immortals are out, though, they just get torn to pieces. Please be small so I don't look like an idiot. Baby Ultra. Oh, look how cute it is. It's a really cute Ultralisk. It's actually kind of cute. Look how... It's actually tiny. I mean, when you zoom in, I guess it's pretty big. That's what... No. It's not what she said. It's not true. It's not true. So Ultras are smaller, which is a significant buff because they shouldn't get stuck on things so easily. And obviously that's what they tend to do. When they get into the battle, they actually do a lot of damage, but usually they just don't. Okay. They don't have chitinous yet, though. Chitinous plating is a +2 armor upgrade, and that one's not finished yet, so they actually take a lot of damage here. Yeah, I think he actually should not have engaged there. Ooh, he loses another one. He's gonna lose the 4th one too, I think. Yep, he is gonna lose that one. 5 more Ultras are coming up, but it's not enough. And that means that despite the fact that herO is a baby Ultralisk killer, he is the one who wins the ESL Open Cup 156 for Korea. You'll love to see it. Nice.